flooding or heaviest rainfall. So these are the effects that are occurring in every. The temperature has been rising, and the kind of polar ice and the icing mountain and glaciers has been melting every day by day. So they flooding as well. So the projected rise by a 21 there would be around 1.2 meters as well. So for that decrease, for that reasons you need to for that reasons you need to adopt a kind of adopt a kind of so what are the environmental challenges and how you need to mitigate them? Because different environmental issues we are facing, whether loss of biodiversity and pollution as well. As I've told you, every year we are facing the increasing heat waves, heaviest events, and the patterns repeatedly in these events and the patterns repeatedly in uh, like like this is just because from the day the industrialized these effects are occurring as to the FAO's 2021 report. There's a 1 million hectares of forest for the pollution water and the soil as well, and the ban of the plastic bags or water bottles or another. The question is why youth is matter, because youth is the one, because we know that around there's 1.8 billion people are there. They collectively, if talk about or raise their voice, if their voices should be and can be heard by the international organizations, because they have the passion and the energy for the activism. They need to raise their voice national or even the international levels as well, because they know that if we cannot raise our voice today, they have the long-term effects. And we believe that youth are not only the leaders, but they will be tomorrow's political businessmen. And so for the community, businessmen and politicals, we need to collectively raise our voice for our planet. So these are the youth lead climate campaigns, or how you have to raise your start your campaign. From now, I'm going to tell you how you have to initiate from your personal experiences, personal issues, how you have to make such. So these are the different ways here you need to raise your voice regarding the plastic ban of the plastic pollution, because plastic is the one not only affecting the soil or us as well, but the aquatic life as well. Like on a beach, you are going for the picnic and you thrown kind of a used material, plastic materials, and that can be blown by the air or even the water, and the aquatic life is affected slowly and gradually. Even the microwave session was on microplastics. So the microplastics are can, because plastic need a kind of a centuries or the 50 or the 60 years to broken down. For if it cannot be broken down, it will, and even it cannot be dissolved, whether in a soil or whether in a water. So these are the microplastic are also in the food chain as well. Even the newborn babies having the microplastic in their stomach or in their internal organs as well. So youth can like a strike, if you know about Greta Thunberg, she started a Fridays for Future kind of a strike that gets now in every country the people are connected with it, and they are working for Fridays for Future organization, whether on a local level, national or international levels as well. So you cannot think whether you are raising your voice, even the 20 people are listening you and 20 people are supporting you, you are enough to make the one can create a change in our for us and for our future generations. Like another organization or the campaign that has been occurred, like Extinctions of Rebellion Youth, because they were demanding the climate actions and amplified through the social media. It means social media is a power, so you need to use social media. And then we have No Dakota Access Pipeline, and this is an Indigenous Youth Lead Global Resistance, which is against the Dakota Access Pipeline, and they have also raised their voices through social media as well. and how the social media can play an important role for raising your voice. Like for example, if you're in community, there's a lots of fossil fuels burning in your nearby area and you are facing breathing issues, so you need to complain, you need to raise your voice, and recording video posted on social media, every person can hear it. And because these are the one, every person has been affected by this, because bricklinks is nowadays they have different zigzag technology, but there is a lots of bricklinks around the world. They are using oldest technology and they are using a kind of a vest that is completely dangerous. If after burning, their kind releases kind of a gases which affects in a breathing. So you have the role of youth in climate advocacy. So how you are going to create for your own ways, because the first way is to educate the people. You should start from school kids or from your own home, and because we believe that women and the men can initiate if something, and if it cannot be heard by a larger group of the people, but if you are starting from school level, so your voices can be heard. And because we know that environmental and climate education gives and young people the knowledge to advocate for sustainable change as well. And how you do this? By the awareness. You start giving awareness session, whether on climate issues, water conservation, crisis, climate advocacy, or even also on a personal hygiene as well. Because in every year we are facing the same issues, or even just because of same pattern, you need to aware this our next generation or the school kids about what happened and how you have to mitigate the situation in disaster risk reductions kind of processes are also there. So you have to create a kind of a stages and kind of a processes. So first process and the first stage is to start from educating the people, and the second one is how you have to educate, because there's a 17 SDGs goals you have to start from your own, whether you are starting from hunger, from youth role in climate advocacy, from the climate issues, gender and the health. The 17 SDGs, whatever the interest you have in, you can start school. You have to arrange, and also you have to like starting the plantation drives as well. So how the youth can be involved in a policy advocacy, because we know that these as well, how they can influence, because we are the young that can bring a fresh perspectives and the fresh ideas to advocate the urgency of the climate. We need to be part in a climate discussions as well. For example, in your own country you are facing something and different people are talking about this, that can only implement the policy. For that, if you are willing, you have an organization, you have a voice, use it through a different campaigns, through strikes, or even attending the conferences of parties 29 this year. Raise your voice, everyone can hear you, can ask your question what your country, your community and your people are facing, so they implement, they can make a policy that will be beneficial for a specific area and a specific people as well. So youth movements have influenced a national and international organization and well by the help of activism, lobbying and strikes, or even raising their voices through as well. As I've told you, a conferences of parties where you need to be a youth delegate to represent your youth. Whatever the issues you are facing, you just to be asked in a proper way, because everyone can hear you. So, in engaging in local communities, in your local area or on local communities or even on national level, you need to connect with them, because every person or every, even if you have a climate policy or the climate department in your country, you need to connect with them. So from starting to the end, it will be like you are blocking, you are making your puzzles. So puzzles can be made and can be resolved by engagement, by raising your voice. You need to work with the similar passion and the similar idea people and like-minded peoples. And how you have to work with, by mobilizing communities, by rising or the highlighting that issue, the what community your community has been affecting, from which environmental or climate issues. And You need to organize a cleanup drives, like or different beaches. You have to initiate the drive to clean the earth, kind of different, because these are the little steps that can be in terms of with climate friendship or the climate advocacy. How you have to recycle the initiative, because we know that these are the encouraging the communities to adopt recycling practices to reduce the waste and protect the environment. First, you have to start from plastics, because as I have told you, plastics cannot be dissolved in water even after 50 or even a centuries. As stop using plastics and you use a clothing bags, reusable plastic bottles, or the kind of bottles that are reusable in one. Because from starting from grassroots initiatives and slowly and gradually you will be raise your voice from national to the international levels as well. So there will be global youth summits and the conferences as well, and in that you include the conferences of parties. This year there's a conference of parties of about 29, and next year in Brazil there is a COP 30. So you have to start from initiating and I think in your communities and working for the betterment of environment. And hopefully next year in COP 30, might be anyone can go there and represent your community and country as well. Then the United Nations are providing a lots of the platform where the youth voices here, and there's a climate summits as well, and even the youth for and the climate kind of a mentorship and climate conferences, climate different kind of a ways. You have to be search for it, you have to be confident for this, and you have to raise your voice for that in specific areas where your community and the country needs you and your voice. And different opportunities for the youth as well, whether in a discussion, global discussions, and networking and advocacy as well. Because in your local community, you are engaging with different people in your own country. Like for example, I'm connected with Pakistani people and Pakistani organization. I'm working with them because we all are facing the same issue. But if I'm going to attend COP 29, I will be people's different youth peoples. They were represented there. Issue will remain same. That is the climate, environment. So youth are the innovators of bringing the solutions, because we are the one that are raising our voice with giving a solutions as well by the help of technology driven solutions, because we are leveraging the technologies for creating solutions such as climate focused apps, and even we are creating kind of startups as well. Like for example, we are giving the solutions regarding renewable energy startups, whether we are giving a climate focused apps as well, where we have to capture or to calculate the carbon footprints as well. And also you are the one who are scanning the kind of an app, creating apps that are scanning the the plastic, identifying plastics and how much plastic you are using, and the carbon footprints you are calculating by those apps. And also you are using the technology in terms of social media, by blogging, by vlogging, or even by writing your blogs, or the kind of informative writing articles in different ways. Because every person are here, because in this year COP 29 there's a major and important topics will be loss and damage, youth and the climate, and also there will be no one leaves behind, and also the marginalized communities as well. These and even the climate and finance, everywhere the technology and the innovations has been occurred. So the youth can be lead, not if you are going to create kind of apps that are beneficial for, if you are good in kind of a technology or in computer science for the environment and climate changes as well. Of how the youth can driven the innovative, like for example young entrepreneurs, and you have to highlight the role of youth in the climate crisis and the innovations as well. You have to entrepreneur the different youth organizations and the youth people as well, to give them a solution, to boost them, to give them a confidence as well, and what kind of innovative projects that can be initiated in terms of renewable energy solutions and even the conservation of the technologies as well. So As we know that if you're raising your voice for this passive purpose, of course you have to face the challenges as well in terms of barriers. So sometimes the barriers can be from your community barriers, from your nation, from your government barriers as well, support as well, because you are the making some kind of an effort for the for the future generation, for yourself as well. So what will be the barriers you are going to face? Lack your confidence, because change your voices, sorry, we changes that are occurred just because of the climate and environment as well. And how we are going to face the difficulty? By the influencing policy or even their limited representation in decision making bodies as well. Because sometimes what will happen, you will face up funding issues, support issues, whether from the business community, your government community, or even the cross-border communities as well. So you also will face a barriers of lack of resources, because some of the initiatives has been initiated, but after some time, due to the lack of funding and the resources, they can not go on further. So for the financial crisis or the financial issues, a government can support those startups on those initiatives as well, and they can support their youth, because we are working for our future generations. And how we have to mitigate to remove such barriers? By providing a solution in terms of support youth networking, funding, providing funding and the grants and the mentorship programs as well. Like in COP29, there's a lot of youth are facing the financial issues to go and attend the COP29, because this year might be they have the financial issues, and a lot of the youth are not going to go attend just because of this. So our international organizations, national organizations, and the private community must create a kind of a quota for these youth communities. So if they are working whole year and they cannot be go there for the distance because of the lack of the resources,